This is perhaps the most significant building in the architectural design used during the fascist period in Italy. It is the Casa del Fascio, the fascist headquarters in Predappio, Mussolini's birthplace in central Italy. They are talking about renovation, turning this building into a museum or a study center of some sort. It is an interesting design because it actually can be read as a page of fascist propaganda. You can see the tower has been described as a symbol of virility, one of the images used by the fascist regime. The four windows can be read as a reference to the quadrumvirate, the four men who flanked Mussolini during the March on Rome in October 1922. They were the representatives of the police system of intimidation and surveillance over the population. Balbo, De Bono, Bianchi and De Vecchi. The number 4 is repeated throughout the building, on both sides of the building. The facade, 4 sections, this 4 windows, 4 windows, 4 windows, 4 windows. Again a reference to the quadrumvirate and the policing of society during the fascist regime. The door, the central door, is obviously not intended as an ordinary entrance. Look at the size of the person on the pavement in comparison with the door. The door is designed to intimidate, to make people feel small, subjugated. The project we had in mind as AMPI London, AMPI being the Association of Italian Partisans, is to take this image of a path. This is the path of liberty, the path of the resistance against Nazi fascism in Italy, the path of the partisans. We take the path of memory of the resistance, we introduce it into the Casa del Fascio, into the headquarters of the Fascist Party in Predappio. You see the path of memory enters into the building from side to side, it splits it in 2. The upper part of the entrance is sectioned, overturned to form a capital L, meaning of course the liberation obtained through the struggle of the resistance against Nazi fascism in Italy. These are 2 very simple changes which turn the Casa del Fascio, the house of fascism, into the house of freedom. One part of the building could indeed be used as a museum devoted to the means of repression used by the system. Cudgels, sticks, whips to begin with, incendiary material, they set fire to buildings, to books, to newspapers, means of interception, telephone communications, telegraph, correspondence, the punitive squads, the militia, the Obra agents, the spies who operated within the country and abroad, then the prisons, of course, the confino, the house arrest on penal islands, and finally also the concentration camps, which were set up following the racial laws of 1938. This other part of the building could indeed be used as a space for temporary exhibitions on fascism, a library, a study center, and perhaps even as a social center. These are only two relatively small changes which turn the meaning of the headquarters of the Fascist Party into a house of liberty. It is a project by AMPI London. We are not architects, as you can see. This is being filmed in the ex-headquarters of the Fascist Party in London, a step away from Trafalgar Square. But put in the hands of an architect, we believe that this is perfectly feasible, and we hope it will be taken into consideration.
No entiendo